Hey guys, what is up and welcome to my YouTube channel. Long time no see. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if you're back for more, welcome back. It has been a long time. It's been officially, I think, 3 weeks since my last YouTube video. I know I had promised you guys all the tea on my love life and we were going to talk about purity culture icks and different things like that, but I never had time to edit that video. And then I spontaneously decided that I really wanted to go on a missions trip to Mardi Gras, and I did it. And that's what today's video is all about. So without further ado, let's get right to the video. It's supposed to be a pretty bad storm, huh, honey? And look at how disgusting my car is. Like, what the freak? As you can tell, the weather is eerie. Not loving it. There's a gunshot randomly. Just kidding. So I just now left my adoptive parents' house. It was so fun to hang out with the family, and they prayed over me, and I just really needed that just reassurance before the trip. But I'm super tired. It is 10:27, so yeah, I've got to get home and finish packing, and yeah, basically just get ready for Mardi Gras. I really don't know how much filming I will do while I'm on the trip, so I have to be kind of quiet because my roommate is going to sleep, but I've got all my stuff like laid out of what I'm packing. Now I've got to fit it in that bag, and that little pink bag. So let's do this. So I have everything packed. It's actually midnight right now. That's all that I'm wearing tomorrow. This is my suitcase. Once I'm done with my toiletries in the morning, I'll zip it up. I'm super jittery and nervous, but I know I'm supposed to do this, so I'm excited. Good night. Sweet babies. Bye, girl. I love you. You're not coming. Nope. You're not coming. I love you. Go sleep. Sleepy time. I'm honestly just trying to keep myself awake right now. I'm very exhausted. I think I got maybe 3 hours of sleep last night, so yeah. I am so tired, but I wanted to just kind of talk a little bit about my thoughts on this trip and how I'm doing and what I'm feeling and what I'm worried about and everything like that. So this Mardi Gras I've done twice. The first time I did it, I was 18. I was a senior in high school. And I was truly, truly changed. Like, it changed my life because I saw the power of God and I saw the power of His name. And I literally remember, like, whenever I would be talking to people, and like not just like conversation, but like talking to them, witnessing to them, it's like I could be talking to like a brick wall, but the moment that I said Jesus, it's like that's when something shifted, and that's when the atmosphere changed. And it really like impacted my life because like I thought, you know, oh my gosh, like, you know, something's like seriously, like this is wild. So the name of Jesus holds so much power, and that trip was like the trip that did that. My second trip, I was I want to say 22, and it was not good. It was not a good trip. I can't really go into all the reasons why, but my headspace was not in the right place. My heart was not in the right spot, and I don't really know that I witnessed at all on that trip. I don't really remember. I actually think there was only one situation where I actually was bad. I felt a lot of conviction about just certain things in my life. And I felt like, how can I go down here and witness when I'm, you know, struggling and doing different things. So I feel like this year is kind of a redemptive year, and I think there's something powerful about going at it by myself. Even though I am terrified, I feel like there's purpose, and God is just being like, you know, be intentional, you know, be, yeah, like just be intentional, be focused, really try to lean on the Lord for this, and that's what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm doing. So I feel like this is an intentional trip. I really want to see God break off in my life the fear of straight evangelism, which is just basically when you're on the streets talking about Jesus. It shouldn't be that hard, but I've made it something that it's become this sort of challenge in my life that I cannot seem to kick, and I'm not doing it as much as I should be. But I want to see that, number one, broken off my life. Number two, like, not to be like super personal or anything, but I am naturally awkward, and I feel uncomfortable all the time, especially in, you know, ministry situations where, you know, they're people my age. I connect really well with people older than me, and definitely connect well with people that are younger than me. But I don't connect very well with people my own age, and I feel super convicted about that, because when I was in high school, I got made fun of a lot, and I just decided, like, oh, like, I don't connect with people my age. And so it's weird because, like, that thought never, like, went away. Like, I never let that go. That kind of became, like, a part of my identity, and I stopped connecting with people my age. Now, when I was in ministry school, I connected with a lot of people. A lot of people knew who I was, but I don't necessarily feel like I felt connected, or felt like, I don't know, like, I just felt like a loser. I felt like I was an outsider and a wallflower, and I always feel that way, but I don't really care. Now that I'm older, like, I'm 26, I really don't care. Like, it used to bother me so much, but now I'm kind of thankful, because the people my age are not living like I'm living, and I'm not saying that I'm better than them, but I'm just saying, like, it's hard to find people that are actually stepping into their calling and actually, like, running after God, that are single, that are relatable, you know, that want to hang out and stuff. So I've just kind of let that side of life die. But my best friend Sammy, she really has broken down that wall, but she's younger than me. She's a lot younger than me, so. All right, time to go. This is my bedding, and then I have, like, my big blanket in my suitcase. I just kind of move in here. I don't really know if I have a group yet, but I'm thinking that I do. Well, I don't have one, but I'll jump in one, hopefully. And tonight's the first night, so I'm excited. We have training. I don't know if I have to go to it or not, but I'm going to, I guess. Really wanted to spend more time with Jesus, but I've been praying and just talking to him. I really feel inadequate. Genuinely don't feel like I don't know. But I know I better get my head right because I'm supposed to be here for a reason, you know what I'm saying? And I'm also like kind of nervous about Wednesday night because I'm preaching. So I got to be thinking about that too. But for right now, I'm just going to try to think about what I'm doing here, where I'm supposed to be, and trying to figure out the schedule and everything. It's weird, like being a leader, becoming and not being a leader. So trying to figure all that out. But I'm also trying to deal with a migraine, which is always nice. So I think I'm just not going to wear these. Anyway. Guess it's just kind of, yeah. I feel like I feel so awkward, so that's why I keep doing like weird things, like with the camera even, because you can just like literally see it all over me, how uncomfortable I am. But I am not here for me. I'm not here with a group. I'm here to find out what God has for me, first of all, and second of all, to be a servant, to serve, to love. So that's what I'm gonna focus on. But this is so challenging in every way. This is like the most challenging thing I've ever done, because this is like just so many people I don't know, and I'm really overwhelmed. So I've been around people that I do not know since 4 a.m. and I'm an introvert. Extrovert, introvert, same thing for me. I let this little girl do my makeup. Look at my nose. It's embarrassing, but it is what it is. I don't care. I'm just really nervous about just being here in general. It's a lot. Obviously, I can't film that much, so I'm gonna do my best to not be so awkward about that, because I want you guys to get to experience this firsthand. Doing something risky and taking that step and that leap of faith, so. I made it. I'm alive. Hey guys, so I'm going to just make this really quick for y'all instead of typing out a big message, but I'm so thankful for the people at home praying for me. You guys are amazing. I definitely need the prayers. So it was a really great night last night. Definitely felt like it kind of started this missions trip off on the right foot. So I'm very thankful for y'all praying back home. So we walked down Bourbon Street, which was our first kind of stop. It was pretty intense, like, I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember it being that not packed. Like, I felt like there wasn't as many people there, but of course it'll get worse and worse and worse as the week goes on. But it was just really heavy, and there was a lot going on with that. So just still needing prayer for all that, and of course just wanting to be a vessel. And you can't really hear anything because there's so much going on, but there was a lot of worship teams out there that we saw, and that was really cool because that's unique. Like, I've never seen that before. Of course there's what I call them the hate church, because they're not really like preaching the kingdom, they're preaching hate. And so they were there, but they really weren't that loud, as loud as I've seen them in the past either. So God's presence was definitely there in a greater way than I've ever seen. So I feel like that just gives me hope that things are going to start shifting even greater than ever before. So let's see. There was this girl that was like completely drunk, like blackout drunk, crying. And she's like on the phone, and she's like, "Why did y'all leave me?" Like she was left behind or something, I guess by her friends. So I just came over to her and I put my hand on her shoulder. I said, "It's okay. I'm right here. I'm not leaving you. Where do you need to go?" And she's crying. She can't really get her words out because she's drunk. So I don't really think she even knew, like, what she was trying to accomplish in that moment. But she was definitely just trying to find her friends, and they had left her. So, me and Miss Heather, which is one of my new friends, went over to her. Or, well, I went over to her first, but Miss Heather kind of was behind me. So, she's, like, holding her hand and everything like that. I'm just trying to, like, love on her and let her know that we're not going to walk away until she's safe. So, not even 10 feet are her friends. And they walk over, and they're dying laughing. And they're laughing at her, and she's mad. She's called her mom, you know, she's all these things. And so, I'm kind of laughing with them because it's hilarious. Like, they were literally right there. But on one of her friends came over and gave me the biggest hug and was like, thank you for holding her and whatnot, and was kind of laughing. They're all drunk too. But I knew when she gave me the hug, because I don't like hugs, but I knew when she gave me the hug that God needed me to just kind of just be, I guess, available and just see where this could go. So I just kind of was like, okay, well, clearly we're not walking away from this situation, even though she found her friends. Because that was my goal, was like, I just wanted her to be safe and find her friend. But God obviously had a bigger plan than that. So she's like, that's just the alcohol devil. And Miss Heather said, yeah, it is the devil, and we're from the church. And so that's Miss Heather, by the way. Hi. I'm making a video for my kids back home that are on my praying for me. So when she said that, the girl that we were talking to said, oh, I believe in God and all that stuff. And so I knew that the door was, like, wide open at that point, because, like, she kind of, like, she didn't reject it. She didn't reject what Miss Heather had said. She was just like, yeah, let's go. So, but keep in mind, she's drunk too. So that's kind of tricky, because it's like, you know, you don't really know if this person's, like, actually retaining what you're saying, but there's so much power in the name. Like, you just, okay, just wait. So we're just kind of talking to her about Jesus and about life, and Miss Heather shares a little bit of her story, and the girl is just really receptive. Like, she's not shutting us down. She's not acting like uncomfortable. She's really invested in what we're saying. So I feel like God was just kind of giving me a word over her. I felt like she was, like, a lot like my sister, who does like the lashes and all that stuff. So I was like, what do you do? And she said she's an esthetician thing. I can't say the word, but she did similar things. So I just felt like she made people feel beautiful and all that. But I really felt like she saw herself small and just not the way, like, not as big as God saw her. And I knew she had, like, an entrepreneurial spirit about her. So we gave her some encouragement, gave her words, and just loved on her. And it was really powerful, because clearly, like, I was just worried about this drunk girl. And that girl, by the way, she walked away. We didn't really get to pray for her. We didn't really get to talk to her, because her and her other friend walked away. But that girl, like, we talked to her for a good minute, just talking to her about life, encouraging her, lifting her up. I even got her on my IG. I don't know if she has accepted it, but she looked herself up for me. So that way I could just speak life into her. I told her, if you ever need prayer or anything, like, just please DM me. And so that way it could keep going beyond Mardi Gras, you know. I really felt like I needed to say, you know, get plugged into a church. But I feel like if she does add me on Instagram, that's where that will come from. A little bit of discipleship after the fact. But she walked away encouraging us, saying whatever happens, like, if you get rejected or whatever, basically what she was saying was, like, don't stop. Like, just keep going and keep spreading the gospel. And that's what I took away from it, was, like, she really was so touched that she was encouraging us, like, please don't stop. Don't give up. And I was like, okay, God, like, that was awesome. So I know it's awkward because I'm doing my makeup on here, but just wanted y'all to get to hear that. You know, it doesn't matter if you're dealing with somebody who literally tells you they don't believe in God, or they're atheist or whatever. This was a person that was drunk. I don't know, you guys obviously don't have any experience with that, with talking to a drunk person. But this was a person that was like not, you know, slurring a little bit and laughing and all this stuff. But what Miss Heather said to her was like, you have a light all over you. And it was true. I mean, you can hide your light, but when light meets the light, I mean, it's brighter. So she definitely had the light on her and just needed to, I guess, like almost like remember that the Lord was looking out for her. And we kind of served as a reminder that the Lord sent her to Atlanta. So I hope that she adds me on Instagram, because I really want to reach out to her and just continue to just speak life into her and hopefully get her connected to a church there. But just wanted to send that thank you guys for praying for me and keeping me in encouragement. I really appreciate that. And I love you guys so much. Good morning, you guys. So today is church, and I miss my kids. I miss you guys. But man, am I happy that I'm here. So I don't miss you guys that much, but I love y'all. And I don't know, I just wanted to take a second. It's lunchtime right now, so I gotta go eat, but I just wanted to say, you know, the theme that I feel like God has just given me yesterday was one more, Lord. Just one more. And I remember a time, maybe last year or 2 years ago, when one of the students had a party at their house. And they ended up in the bathroom praying and prophesying. And that little girl got filled with the Holy Spirit. And I feel like that was a huge turning point for our youth ministry, but specifically for the kids that are closest to me in discipleship. And so, because that was all on them, you know, I wasn't there, our youth pastor wasn't there, nobody was like doing all that. So I just felt like, you know, that's kind of the message of my heart now. It's like, one more, Lord. Whether it's one more passion student, whether it's one more student getting saved, getting on fire for God, I want to take that home. Whether it's one more parent at a game, you know, at the football games and stuff, just who is the one more for the day, for the moment, you know, and then just keep going and not stopping once you've had this glorious moment. One more service where kids are falling out in the Holy Spirit. One more moment where the Holy Spirit is coming down and interrupting the worship and everything. Just one more. And I know that might seem short-sighted, but in the long run, if you keep saying it, you're just going to keep going. So I'm going to go eat, but man, I love my kids, and I love being in youth ministry, and I love my church. So I'm happy and I'm thankful and I'm ready to be home, but I'm also ready to go to the streets tonight. So anyways.
It can penetrate right through all the barriers in your ear and into the darkest, most deceived and hardened, callous heart. The Word of God is powerful. It's sharper than any two-edged sword. Listen to me. It can get between the soul and the spirit. It can deal with a person, and it can get inside the bone and the marrow and take the cancer out of somebody's body.
I just really appreciate all y'all being supportive.
And whether you were received or whether you were refused,
Kara, hi darling, hi darling, hi darling, hi baby, hi girl, hi girl, oh.
I didn't dress up for the occasion. Are you still happy?
So as you can tell, God absolutely wrecked my life. And the very beginning of this video vlog thing, I basically felt so discouraged. I felt inadequate. I felt like I wasn't good enough. And by the end of the week, I was ready to bring it all home. I was on fire for God again. I was restored again. Things in my life about ministry, that really ministry is hard, and it's really a difficult thing. Like, everybody is called to have their own ministry, but platform ministry is just a whole different animal, because a lot of times people talk about their 9-to-5 jobs, or they talk about their clock, you know, the clock and their hours and stuff. Well, ministry's not like that. You know, ministry never stops. There's always an issue. There's always something that you need to give your heart to. And so I was really burnt out. I was really struggling with if this was even something that I wanted to do anymore. And if it was something that I was going to do, I needed God to shift something in me ASAP. Oh, and I still have my youth convention. We just got back from youth convention today, and man, it was so good too. But today's not about youth convention, but I just realized that this is on me, so it's embarrassing. But anyway, so one of the things that God broke off of me was my patience and my love for people. Like, I realize now that I did not genuinely love the people that God brought in my life, and I was always on the go, and people were always inconveniencing to me. And I might not have always treated people like that, because I think I did love people, but I only loved them like between arm's length. Like, I was never going to let people in, and even down to the point where I would never even hug people, or if I did hug people, I wasn't comfortable. I didn't want to hug people because I had a lot of pain and trust issues and just different things in my life. But now I want to hug everyone. I want to embrace every single person that comes my way. As you saw in the picture, I had a sign that said free encouragement, and on the other side it said free hugs. And so a lot of my ministry that I did was planting seeds, and the Lord showed me the power of the seed, and how, like, in my mind, it's like, unless there's an actual response, like someone's actually turning around their life or getting saved or something like that, I devalued the power of the seed. But this week and Mardi Gras, God showed me that there's so much power in investing and sowing. And you might not see it in the natural. You might not see what God's doing in the natural, but if you'll look with spiritual goggles on for 1 second, you can see that you are planting something. You are stirring something up in their heart. You're showing them the love of God that they've never felt before. One of the craziest experiences was on the second day, I believe, and it was the third night. And I was holding my sign, and I had just had a bad experience with it. Like, I did not get a prophetic word. I felt so thrown off by it. And Mr. Alton was our group leader, who really stepped into my life as a spiritual authority, because I really honored him and submitted under his leadership. And he was like, you have a prophetic gift, we're going to use it. And I was like, I'm going to let him down. Like, I'm failing. I'm letting him down. So I sent my best friend, who's my intercessor for the trip, I sent her a text. I was like, I'm really discouraged. I feel really off. Can you pray for me? And she prayed for me. And right after I sent that text of just telling her how I didn't feel good enough, this young man walks up to me, and he's like, I want some free encouragement. And I was like, okay, like, what's your name? And he said Beck, which I love Victorious, so I watched Victorious. And so I was like, oh, like Victorious. And we all laughed. And then I was like, you have a beautiful smile. You have a beautiful soul. And right when I said that, his eyes dropped down. Like, he was like, like almost like he couldn't receive it. So the Lord just immediately quickened my spirit, and I started like reading his mail. I was like, you don't receive love. You don't receive compliments because you give a lot of love, but you don't get a lot of love. And so that's why it's hard for you to receive compliments. The girl, his fiance, I didn't know that was his fiance, but the girl next to him starts affirming everything that I'm saying. She's like, yeah, girl, go off, girl. And so I'm speaking to him prophetically. And at this point, the mom and the other sister are kind of there, and they're gathered around. And so I'm just speaking to him prophetically. And like, you can just see like this curiosity of like, wow, how does she know this stuff? And then I turned to the mom, who's kind of, she's got a mask on. You can see it in the picture. You know, she's kind of like in the back of the group. And I turned to her, I said, you're the mom of the group, right? Like, these are all your kids. And she's like, well, he isn't. But I was like, yeah, that's right. But you have 5 kids, right? And they all looked at each other like that. And then I said, 4 girls and 1 boy, right? And everyone in their group was like, oh, and I was like, okay, God, like, how would I have even known that? I wouldn't have known that other than the Holy Spirit. So I just said to them, you know, basically that. I said, the only way I knew this was because of the Holy Spirit, and because he sent me here to tell you how much he loves you, and basically just to show you that he's real and that he loves you. So they let me pray for them. And when they walked away, their eyes were just so lit up, and they, for the first time ever, I believe, felt true love, and they felt the love of God. Up until that week, I would have thought, well, that's not good enough. Like, no one got saved at that point. No one turned their life around. But that's the power of your mouth. It's like, if you speak that, then yeah, they're not going to get saved. They're not going to have a transformation in their life. But if you speak, hey, I don't know if they got saved because God did something in them that you could physically see on their face. So maybe they'll go home and they'll find a home church and they'll get plugged in. But I don't have the power to control that. That's when you realize that you're not anything but a vessel. You're not anything but a tool. Caramel. Crazy dog. You're nothing but like a tool for the Lord. You're basically just a vessel. And people, like, they don't want to be that. They want to be so much more. They want to be big and famous. They want their name everywhere. They want to be famous on TikTok. They want the clout. They want the influence. They want all these things. But the bottom line is, when you're humble, you're more valuable to the Lord, because then you're going to give him glory. But when you're prideful, you're of little value to him, because what little that he does through you, you're just going to take the credit for yourself. And I want to be more humble. I want to be so low to the ground and just let him be big in my life, which is another thing that God just challenged me in so much this past week. I really loved their leadership. The church that I went with, you know, I went by myself, like completely alone, and I was freaking out. And I'm not even gonna lie, I told my friend the day one, I was like, I shouldn't have done this. Like, I hate it. I don't want to be here. I was like, come get me, you know. I was like kind of joking, but mostly serious. Like, I didn't want to be here. And there was a tension, because like, I think people didn't know me, and so they were trying to like wait it out. Like, is she the real deal? Is she solid? And I just showed up, and I loved the best that I could. And then they started like investing me. The leadership was phenomenal. Like, they invested so much in all of us. And my dog is butt scooting. She's a mess right now. She knows it's about time for her allergy shot. Anyways, but it was absolutely amazing. And another one that was so crazy was like, this homeless man was struggling with unforgiveness, and like, he was literally homeless because of unforgiveness. He had a job, he had a place, but his brother, he'd never done drugs, he'd never drank before, like, he was completely sober, but he had so much hatred in his heart. He loved God, but he could not forgive his brother. His brother was a drug addict and burnt his house down. But you know, everything like was like fixed, but he chose to be homeless. Like, I don't know if he like said, I'm going to be homeless, but like, because subconsciously, because of that heaviness and that sin of unforgiveness in his life, he would rather be homeless and in this bad dark spot in New Orleans than be home and forgive his brother and see his brother. So we were able to lead him in a prayer where he basically pictured the unforgiveness in his hands and he let it go. And so I believe that when he let that go, it was the first time he had ever felt freedom from that sin and that heaviness. this was the first time, this is my 3rd year going, this was my first time where I saw people so receptive because there was so much more love. Like, every year that I've gone, there's these men with megaphones and they're shouting things like, you're like a whore and all this different stuff and condemning people to hell. And that's not, it is not our job to condemn people to hell. It's our job to save them from hell. And we can't save them. Jesus can. But he gives us the authority and he gives us his stamp of approval and says, you can bring people from the gates of hell. You can. Through my power, you can do it. And so they are going on their megaphones and saying things like, you're going to hell and all this awful stuff. And people like are so shut off to the gospel because of that. But this is the first time ever that almost every single person I asked if I could pray for them, let me pray for them. I prayed for so many people while I was down there and lifted people up and loved on them. I hugged so many people and so many people thanked me for what I was doing. Like, not just me, like everyone else, but I'm only speaking about my experience, but they were so thankful and so receptive to the love of God. And it was such a turnaround because they were hearing the hate preachers, but they were seeing and feeling the love of God. And so that just absolutely blew my mind because, like, only God, you know, only God could have done that. What else? So my best friend was my intercessor, and this is absolutely crazy. So on the first day, I met a homeless, well, the second day actually, I met a homeless couple. They were married, they were ex-vets, and you know, or they had left the military. I don't know what the terminology is, but they had left the military and they were severely drunk, and the boyfriend or husband was severely high. The first day they said they were pregnant, and I just sat with them and talked to them for an hour. I just loved on them so much. I heard their story. I prayed for them. You know, they just were really receptive, but they were completely wasted. And every single day I got to spend time with them every day. And I won't go too much into the details of this, but my best friend was praying for me and interceding for me. And multiple times this happened where God was answering her prayers too. Like, I told her, every testimony that I have, that's your testimony too, because you are sowing the seed of intercessor. And it was just crazy. So anyway, on the last day, I saw my couple again and was sitting with them and loving on them. And the husband tells me the name of their potential son or daughter. And they said Brianna, and they said Brannon. Brannon. What kind of a name is that? And that's my best friend's last name. Like, that's not a normal first name, but that was the first name of their son. And I actually felt in my spirit that it was a boy. And I just think that's so insane because I feel like that was such a testimony to her prayers and how she was interceding. And God has just stirred up something inside of us where we feel called to be intercessors for our church, for our city. We've already walked the streets praying for our city. We've already interceded at our church. Actually, the night that I got home, I was exhausted, but I felt like I had to go straight to the church and intercede. And my best friend met me there, and we were interceding and praying. So God has just completely turned my life upside down. And I want to challenge you, if you're a Christian watching this video, that don't get so caught up in the busy work that you miss out on God opportunities. It can be something really simple, like I was in the Dairy Queen with my girls, you know, my kiddos that you guys see on my vlogs all the time. And this man just started talking to us, and I started talking to him about dogs, and I love dogs, of course. Where's mine? Kara, what are you eating? Being stupid, that's what. But I love dogs, so it was an easy conversation. Well, he let me pray for him. So it completely turned around and became a God thing. Like, I just brought home with me so much freedom from, I guess, like fear of man, busy work, and the Lord's just shaping my mindset to realize that busy work is not kingdom work. Just because you're in ministry doesn't necessarily mean you're doing the kingdom work. You are, but flip that though. Just because you're doing busy work, if you're doing it for His glory and you're doing it for His honor, and you're opening your heart to opportunity to show the love of Jesus, then busy work is kingdom work. It's all about your heart and your mindset. It's all about what God is saying to you in that moment. And so I want to challenge you that if you're like constantly going to school discouraged, like how can I share Jesus? Like, it's not necessarily with a microphone, it's with your life. But you have to share. You have to share Jesus. I love what Pastor Greg said. He's like, there's this quote that says, and everything you do, share the love of Jesus, or share the gospel of Jesus, and use words when necessary. And he said, but I hate that quote because, yes, I understand to a degree what he's saying, but you have to share the gospel with your words because people can understand words. So I took away from that was like, loving people and just doing life with people and showing kindness isn't enough, but it's a start, and it's a gateway, and it can open the opportunity for you to be able to share the love of Jesus and then eventually share the gospel message of Jesus. So I learned so much from Mardi Gras and gained a lot from it, and I'm super challenged. Hey, Sammy. I hope that's you. Samantha? Samantha Louise? Okay, well, I don't know who it is, but hopefully it's not someone breaking in. But I gained so much from it, and I hope that this challenged you and helped you feel just the passion and the excitement. I don't even feel like the same person that I was when I left. In fact, I know that I'm not, and I'm not going back. And so I just want to say a huge thank you to you guys for waiting on me, waiting for this video. I've gotten a few comments here and there from Instagram and YouTube saying like, where's your next video and stuff. And so I'm very thankful for that. So I am so excited for next week's video. It's going to be a little bit different. And then of course we have a new month reset. We're already in March. We have my car video coming out soon. So we've got exciting things coming up, but I could not go one more day without getting this video uploaded to y'all. So I love y'all. I will see you guys next time. Peace.